continue. Let's continue on our why women need to heal, or rather, these are the things that women need to heal from a series that I started yesterday, and it began with why men need to heal. So it's just going to be a dance. We'll be talking about men and we'll be talking about women. But since we are approaching August, I'm going to basically spend the entire August just unpacking why we need to heal and what are these things that we need to heal from, what this healing is going to bring about, and how does that healing really look like. So look out for maybe two more parts or maybe three more parts of this, and we will mix it up with how is it that it affects our relationship with men. And speaking of men, the reason we need to heal, all of us, both men and women, is so that we can improve our relationships. And I don't only mean romantic relationships, I mean just in general, how we relate to one another, bring back some mutual respect, or bring mutual respect if, you've never experienced the respect between the genders. I mean, there's a lot of toxicity, both overt or covert. I mean, look at when it is Mother's Day, for an example. Look at social media. There isn't any, I mean, you'll find here and there, but it's pockets where there's obviously some toxicity around Mother's Day. But without a doubt, when it's Father's Day, you find pockets of those who are praising fathers. And that just obviously tells you how bad things have gotten. And obviously, it's not from nowhere. Yes, we are a fatherless society as Black people in this country. Most of us are fatherless. Even those who had both mom and dad in the same house, half the time, the father was just there in physicality, but not there in many other ways. A story I've shared many times when I was reading from my memoir. And many people can relate to that type of dad, a dad that's just there, but does not interact, is not involved, is not interested, is not interesting, and is just creating a lot of trauma in the house. And in the majority then is your single household. So we don't have fathers. So when it's Father's Day and on social media, we are bashing fathers or we are thanking mothers. Uh, people like, I want to thank my mother for being a great father type of thing. It is not out of nowhere. It is out of something that actually really exists. But because it is something that really exists, it tells us that it is something that we need to begin looking at critically and start mending and healing those things because it's on us now. It is sitting with us, it is sitting with our generation, and we need to honestly just do something. More than fixing the relations or relationship between the genders, healing is going to help us fix our families, however that fixing looks like for you and your unique family. But once you begin healing as a woman, healing as a man, you are going to automatically impact the people around you. You're going to impact your immediate family, number one, and then your extended family. And before you know it, you will be looking at having proper family gatherings where we are really delving deep into healing. Just a side note, which is not really a side note. Yesterday, for the first time, I watched the Bala family on Showmax. On Sundays, I try to catch up with television. I don't watch TV. But and the first episode, or it was the second episode, the Zwai had created a retreat for the family where they can talk and they can engage, and they had a psychologist. And I was like, yeah, you see, this is a first step, but you can't do family gathering and let's talk as a family when you are not doing your own inner work as well. So that's why we need to heal. That's why this work for me is very important. And lastly, the reason we need to heal as women and we need to heal as men and we need to heal as a collective is so that we can begin to build something meaningful. We cannot build anything when we are not healed or when we are not united. And once again, I'm not saying we must be perfect beings, we must be healed and be angels, but just the process, just the whole thing of I am working on this aspect of my life. This part of me or this part of my life is a bit messy, it's a bit chaotic. I am working on it. I'm seeing a psychologist, I'm seeing a social worker, I'm seeing a coach. I am doing something around it. Just that already just puts you on another level. And that's what I'm talking about. I am not advocating for people to be absolutely perfect. That's just never going to happen. But we need to get to a place where we have reached a level of sanity, a level of clarity of some sort, a level of having offloaded. So just beginning, just one little step at a time. I'm not in any way saying let us be perfect beings and let us spend our time healing and doing, it has to be something that is part of your life. The same way that you go to gym, maybe 4 times a week, the same way that you are looking after your body or you are dieting or you have taken a particular lifestyle that makes you become a person that is well, that is healthy. Healing is like that. It has to be part of your lifestyle. You have to be working on yourself. We have to be working on ourselves. So yesterday I spoke of how, I mentioned some of the things that we need to heal from. And one of them is the unspoken anger, or it is spoken about. I mean, the fact that we have feminist movements and we have women who speak out against certain things that men do, we are starting to speak about it, or we have been speaking about it. But there's a lot of it that is underneath it. There's a lot of it that is not spoken. And once again, when I say we are angry at men, I am not saying at an individual level. Maybe we are. I mean, there are levels of anger that we have at an individual level, but I'm talking more as a collective, as the collective female. We have this underneath anger, and I did touch on it on as to where it comes from. It comes from years and years of some form of neglect by the men, and that neglect may not necessarily have been through their own willingness. It was obviously the colonial oppression, and then followed by apartheid, followed by the economic pressure, followed by even women empowerment, that started to take shape soon after democracy. So there's a lot that women needed from men that we never really got. I mean, I just mentioned that we don't have fathers. If the fathers are there, they're not really, really present. We ourselves, a lot of us are single mothers, we have to be fighting at maintenance court for fathers to look after their children. If they don't look after their children financially, they don't look after them emotionally. Men disappear for months and months or for years on end. Men run away from their responsibility. Men cheat on us. Men beat us up. Men do all sorts of very, very strange things. On top of that, you have to chase him to come look after their kids. You have to explain to the children why he's not there. You have to balance almost everything. And that can make a girl angry. Whether that anger is acknowledged or not, it's neither here nor there, but it can make you angry. And some women do not even realize that they're angry. It just shows up in very, very weird things, which we'll talk about maybe in the next video. But right now, I just want to name what it is that we are angry about. In in a case where you are married or you're in a couple and you so happen to be both working, and it just so happens that maybe you earn a little bit more than him, you are expected to obviously contribute to the household, which you must. It is your responsibility. After all, finances are a couple's responsibility. You contribute to the financial well-being of the household, but you are still also expected to be a great mom and take care of other aspects while he is almost exempt, or he is left to be just lounging there. Yes, I know things are changing slightly, especially with the millennials and the younger people, but this is the kind of things we are dealing with. We are dealing with that type of hectic emotional labor in situations where you are in a couple or you are married and you are not working and he's the one that provides financially. There's that, power imbalance where the fact that you are not contributing financially exposes you to all sorts of abuses, and whether it's physical, whether it's emotional or psychological or financial abuse. So that has happened. We've seen women like that. I've had clients like that. We know of women like that, and that adds to the anger that we have against the men. And situations which are increasing, by the way, this third one is increasing, where you are in a couple, whether married or partners or la nje, and you are the one that works, you are the one with the money. Now you need to now maintain this person who is not pulling their weight. You help him out, you do the Bob the Builder. Yeah, how can I forget this phrase? You are above the building, you are trying to help him out, you have noticed, or you realize that he has potential, and you are busy fixing and you are busy building. And as as the story goes with Bob the Builder, he then leaves. He then leaves, or he never ever gets built, and that creates a lot of resentment in you, and that creates a lot of anger. So that these are some of the things that makes us very, very angry. And then there's others where, when men who have sort of made it or have a little bit of money go for younger women, there's just a lot, Guningi, and you can probably add some on the comments here of the things that we are angry about. And this anger, sometimes it's spoken, sometimes it's not spoken. We express this anger in many ways. Like I said earlier, when I started the video, on social media, Father's Day, we are really gay. We don't like advice from men. I don't like it when men talk to women or give women advice. That's also another way of us sort of giving that passive aggression. I remember not so long ago, there is a couple, a very famous couple, and the husband is the most outspoken, is the most well-known and most outspoken, and he likes to give advice, a lot of advice, but a lot of his advice is directed at women generally. Yeah, he advises men as well, but he advises women a lot. And this one time he went all viral as he was talking about the household finances or something like that, that if a woman earns more, if a woman earns 100,000 and the man earns 40,000, the household has 140,000. And while I agreed with some of the points he made, I might not have agreed with others, but it went crazy on social media how women attacked him and attacked that. So, it has gotten to that point where sometimes we really don't even want to hear reason. As long as it's coming from a man who's going to be dictating and telling us what to do, we are not going to go there. And then then this anger also shows up in how we are very, very transactional, which is a whole, I'll create a whole video on how toxic and how bad this transactional relationship we have with men. So, but that's also just a sign or a symptom of this deep anger that we have against men. So for today, I just wanted to name them and name what it is that we are angry about. And before we even start talking about how do we begin to heal it. But heal it we must, because if we don't, this gets passed down to the next generation. It gets passed down to the daughters. It gets passed down to the granddaughters, and it gets passed down to the next generation. And until we fix ourselves as families, our communities will continue to deteriorate. Moja Love will continue to be giving content that is just showing displaying our pain and our woundedness and our brokenness. And we will never build anything. We will never build anything meaningful. We'll never build schools. We'll never build businesses. We'll never make money. We'll never prosper until we come together. So the healing is key to everything else that we say we want. Politics aside, yeah, so this is it for today on naming. I would like to see if there's more on the comments around what is it that we think we are angry about. In fact, maybe as part of your reflection, and I nearly said homework, I forgot this is not my class, but as part of your reflections and introspection, maybe check in with yourself and see if you are angry. If there's anything you are angry about, maybe are you angry at your dad? Are you angry at your partner? Are you angry? Is there a level of anger that you know you have towards men? Because it is there. It is in the collective. You see it. If something appears in the collective, and social media, fortunately, is the place where you see the collectivist mindset. If social media is anything to go by, then we know that there's a lot of anger towards men. And I'm not saying men are not angry at us. I'm just talking about us. Because men might not necessarily be angry at women, but they're in another funk around women. They're very resentful, very frustrated by women, which we'll talk about in the next video. So this is it for now. I will return still in a day or two. So we continue on this path. Please do comment. Please let me know, because your comments do direct me. They shape how I shape these teachings. And yeah, this is my story for now. I cannot wait to hear from you. I cannot wait to hear yours.